This week it was my turn to do the fruit and veggie shop for the food co-op I'm in, so I was pretty glad to be driving a Renault mid-size SUV and not a tiny car. The Renault Koleos is in the same category as a Honda CR-V, Nissan X-Trail and Toyota RAV4. I was in the second from the bottom of the range, which comes in at around 35.5 grand. I tested it over a week full of activities along with my big market trip. Here's how it did for this week's family review. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe to stay up to date with Cars Guide's latest videos. It drives quite nicely. This has a 2.5 litre engine, which is enough to get up hills quickly, and it coasts along highways nice and smoothly. It's actually a really smooth driving experience and it's all fairly effortless. I had it over a week of torrential rain. This one is a two-wheel drive, but there are all-wheel drive options if you want to go up in the range, if that's what you'd prefer. I had no problem with traction on the road for this one though. There's no heavy pull on the steering wheel and it takes off quickly enough from a starting position. Fuel consumption is a claimed 8.1 litres per 100 k's, which is fairly high for this category, but it could just be because that's a more realistic figure that they're reporting. I kept thinking this car was smaller than it actually is, and I kept trying to squeeze it into small parks this week, which somehow miraculously worked. There is a good reverse parking camera and it's got parking sensors front and back. The exterior is stylish, probably just because it's French and that's what I associate with France, but it still looks good and is one of the better designed vehicles in this category. It also looks more expensive than it is, which is always nice, isn't it? Inside is not as luxe as the outside would belie, but that's because I'm in the Zen, which is the second from the bottom of the range, and there are 5 models in the range, so you can go all the way up to the top if that's what you'd prefer. In the Zen, however, you will get vegan leather seats, which don't look as good as real leather, but they are heated, which I really needed on this freezing cold week. There is a leather steering wheel, which is leather and feels really good under the hands. And the rest of the design is nice. It's clearly laid out, it's functional and easy to use. There's a digital dashboard, which looks modern. And I think at this price, they've done really well. It's not super premium, but you still feel quite good in here. There are 2 cup holders in the front with a little bit of extra storage as well. A spot to throw your keys and your phone, super essential. A large centre storage bin for this size car and bottle holders in each door. Space-wise, it works well for tall people and short people like me. There was plenty of legroom and headroom, and even taller passengers had enough leg and head space in here. My 2 children easily had enough room in the back seat, and I think even taller adults and teenagers will find they have plenty of room for their needs to sit straight ahead, which is the ultimate test, isn't it, when you don't have to turn your knees in the back seat? You can just fit a 3rd child seat in the middle, depending on your child seats. I did it with 2 boosters and a baby capsule. It is squashy and you will probably get really sick of doing seatbelts up in such a tight space, but it does work for a little while. There are 2 cup holders in the back seat. Rear passengers will also get their own air vents, which is good in this size car, and you'll get pockets on the back of the front seats too. Boot space is good. It's smaller than a Honda CR-V or a Volkswagen Tiguan, but it's about the same as a Mazda CX-5. The safety in here is ace. As standard, you'll get advanced safety features like auto emergency braking, lane departure alerts, and blind spot monitoring. You'll also get airbags that cover the driver and front passenger, plus side curtain airbags that extend to the back row. There are 2 ISOFIX points to fix kids' car seats in, and 3 top tether points. I was quite happy driving the Renault Koleos Zen this week. There is something about driving a French car that's stylish as well as functional. It has a good amount of interior space, enough boot space, and it drives really nicely. I gave it a family rating of 7.5 out of 10, and my kids also gave it a 7.5. They like it when they can climb in on their own with no issues. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or click through to our website.